Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. We have a co-cast coming your way today. I'm joined by the illustrious Conorach, who is playing in one of the players actually in my 2v2 tournament. I believe you guys have made it to the lower bracket semifinals. Is that right?
That's right. I'm playing with the Rigo Eagle, and yeah, we got eliminated by the Hardser team.
Yeah, but you're still in the lower bracket, so you still got a shot.
That's right. Yeah, I'll give it our best.
There you go. So he's going to be riding shotgun with me for this cast. We're going to call this team 1 up at the top, this team 2 down at the bottom. We'll go in and start introducing our players. We're going to start off with Vex. He's going UEF opening first land, as I got to get my mini map turned back on. In the, I guess it would be rear guard air position. And then to the west, we have Ninrai. He's going Seraphim opening first land. He was actually on my cast yesterday. Moving to Nevis on the front line, and he's going Seraphim opening first land. Southernmost land player is Nasimka, is going Cybran, fan favorite right there, going first land. And last but not least, for team number 1, we have Mochulal, I think as Guile likes to say it, going Cybran opening first land. I'll kick it to Conorach to introduce team number 2.
All right, on the south side, we have Nap Span. He's in the air slot for sure. And then a little bit above it on the left, we have a red player. He's Sui. I guess that's land position. And next to the top right there is Soviet Pride. He is the highest rated player on this game. We'll see if he chooses to go all air or he'll put it up in the land as well. And pink, just a little bit, yeah. And then this pink with Sky God 191. And for the last but not least, NGC 3115, already walking as Commander North.
I always wonder with these players that have like NGC 3115, like what that's from. Is that like, do you know what that's from? Is that some sci-fi thing or? Okay.
We should ask them.
Should ask them.
Make it a poll in the comments.
There you go. Cool. There you go. But we got some early harass coming out from. That'd be coming out from Nasimka, Lab, and Scout duos, coming out from the forward Cybran player. I think that's kind of the, well, we got some offensive activity as well going out from the north. Going to be, of course it's Cybran, but it's going to be a Mantis as well as a Scout coming out from Mochulal. So as far as how you think this map is going to end up getting played, Conorach, what are you thinking we're going to see?
Well, it's an interesting division. We have Soviet Pride on the south team, a very strong player at the 2200 global rating. You'd think he's head and shoulders above the rest. But the other team has the higher average, let's say, the higher median for sure. Yeah, I think on a map like this, typical team game is gun upgrades, push commanders out, and get that skirmish going.
Oh yeah, you're talking to the guy that pretends to be a scientist in his videos, so I'm all about those medians and averages, and I couldn't even tell you the difference between a median and a mean right off the top of my head, so just how much I know.
Well, we can see that some of them choose to take transports out. There in the south, we see both Napspan and Soviet Pride landing some transports out. I think mass-wise, there's not too much mass on the map, but the mass that is there, you might want to control that. You got that little advantage at the start, right?
Yeah, Reclaim much more concentrated, I think, on the northern side of the map, so going to be more important for NGC as well as Mochulal to kind of control this corridor in at least the early stages of the game and try and grab these rocks as much as they can.
Yeah, that looks like Soviet Pride is walking his ACU towards there, and the Sky God is still staying in their base. But on the other side, the green player, Ninrai, he's moving more southern, so he's not reinforcing that top right corner where all the mass is. I'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important, right, to move if you're in one of the back lines. It's one of the things that I forget to do, and one of the things I struggle with a little bit is moving my commander kind of out of the base to support the forward players.
Yeah, and certainly on these 10v10 maps, commanders have such a big impact early on in the game. And yeah, if you can get a 2v1 or a 3v2 in one of the areas, you can definitely get a big advantage and push forward, get that map control, take the reclaim. And don't forget those early tanks, they are reclaimed too, right? You kill 10 more tanks than the opponent ACU, and they have to walk away. You take a couple hundred mass right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And speaking to the strength of an early commander, Ninrai actually going for a gun upgrade right now. It looks like he's able to also afford it pretty easily at 5 minutes because you see that going up pretty quickly.
Both of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Simka going for his own gun upgrade.
Yeah. So when you are in a team game like this, I think you can benefit a lot by assisting each other, and giving your body a little bit of that extra power, while you wait with your upgrade, and then the other person can do the same when it's your turn. You can get the upgrades out faster than you would in a typical ladder match, for sure.
Sharing is caring, and right now Team 1 not interested in sharing at all, as all 4 of the frontline commanders upgrading at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty terrible idea. Like, now they will all stall energy, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we can check. So Nevis is doing okay. Mochulal is getting ready to stall, and he's actually under attack from Auroras as well as artillery. That is going to force him actually to cancel that upgrade. That's not good.
But yeah, on the southern edge of the front, Ninrai is done, and Nasimka is done pretty much. So yeah, both of them out there. They're gonna be dangerous.
Well, we'll see what they do with them. Right now, team number 2 working with, I believe, all vanilla commanders. Haven't introduced any of that chocolatey, pepperminty goodness into their commander mix just yet.
NGC did the gun, I think, but only speed, so or only range on the Aeon commander.
Ah, yes, you are correct.
Yeah, he can push a little bit, but oh, they're in for trouble on the south for sure.
Yeah, well, NGC throws a lot of his T1 tanks away, so he's not going to be able to make any pushes anytime soon. But on the bottom side of the map, Nasimka starting to reposition his commander. We've got a lot of mech marines out from Napspan. And this might be a good time to ask you, I've started seeing a lot of labs, and I, for the life of me, cannot understand why.
Yeah, I don't know either why he would choose to go for labs in this situation. I was thinking maybe he wants to load them up on a transport or so and make it all get a gunship out of it, but that doesn't seem to make sense here. Like, they are not nearly as good as tanks, and they're just gonna get steamrolled in a minute because he has no army, and his friend is going to suffer for it.
Yeah, well, he's got all 4 of his forward land factories producing labs, and Nasimka even overcharging the labs. That's a little bit overkill there, but
yeah, it's always interesting to see people go with certain strategies that may not make any sense. Sometimes it can be a misclick. Sometimes they are honestly just not aware what the right choice would be. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to rush past on that left side, and he thought he could be faster, but I don't know. It's not the best choice, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, as NGC is starting to get forced to vacate this position by a ton of T1 bombers coming out from Mochulal. We have another push coming in from Nasimka, and he's just absolutely murdering the T1 units with that gun comm.
Yeah, you could see that Napspan gave over the factories to Sui,
yes.
the red player. So he has a little bit of extra production capacity there, but you're right that those bombers on the top right are making short work of all those Aeon tanks, where NGC is now definitely being pushed back. There's almost no air on grid from both teams. There's just a handful of interceptors on both sides. Do you think we'll see a quick Tech 3 from one of those players?
Well, I mean, let's take a look. There's no better way to answer that question than to look. So Soviet Pride already up at T2 HQ. He's getting an energy storage out. I would assume he's going to follow that up with a Tech 2 PGen. And on the other side, well, I guess you could actually look at Napspan as well. He's also a Tech 2 Air, no Tech 2 PGen under construction yet. But Napspan really playing poverty sim there on that particular side of the map. Sui taking pot shots from Nasimka in the middle as well. And I don't know whether he has his sound turned off or what, but he seems content to just take...
loses half his health bar to a gun come out of range. Yeah. I think on the top side we're seeing a Tech 3 air factory upgrade now, halfway along or so.
Oh, that's sick.
The Vax there, yeah.
It's going to be quite vexing there for team number 2. You get it?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, haha, good pun. But he's only at still building his second P-Gen Tech 2, so whatever energy he needs, he's not gonna have it. Especially on a map like this where there are no trees, you need to produce a lot more power to be able to sustain that rush to Tech 3 air, I think. So we'll see how that works out for them.
all right, I had to edit the sound settings a little bit. I was noticing Conorach was a little bit quiet, so apologies for that. Unless you want to restart.
No, it's okay. I'll speak up a little bit more. And,
All right.
hopefully that will work out well. You have to do some post-processing on that.
Yeah, I will. That'll be fun.
All right. There's Tech 2 gunships coming out of the gray air factories in the south. Just a few now. I wonder if he's gonna make a snipe with that. It's not the best option, I think, in a large map, in a large 5v5 like this. If everybody has a few interceptors or a few AA tanks, they can probably defend against that.
Yeah, this is sharing till death though, so you know it is a commander off the front line as well as a base going up. But what would you think that Napspan should be doing? I mean, the dude's got very few mexes. He's got 6 mexes.
True, he should probably take a few maxes from his allies. Like you can see that the VEX in the top, he got a 3 in the middle there, probably handed by a teammate or something. But yeah, you shouldn't let your back air player not have the mass to go for Tech 3, because if your enemy goes for Tech 3 and gets strats out, and you didn't already eliminate at least one of their players, then at around that 15-minute mark, you're gonna be in big trouble. Like you said, it's share until death, so if you do eliminate someone with an early Tech 2 snipe or I don't know, mercies, gunships, whatever, you can take someone out. That is really beneficial. But at this rate, even if he had twice the amount of gunships right now, it only takes like a few ASFs to completely shut that down, or a shield and a flak or 2. And then you have nothing, and a stealth bomber will come out and it will murder everybody's Tech 2 maxes, and it's gonna be bad from there on.
It sounds like a pretty grim prognosis there.
Oh, we'll see how it goes. I see a blue commander on the left that is a little bit away from his army.
That is
There's
true.
definitely no air defense now. He could be vulnerable.
Yep, as large attack gets launched there from Sui, though he's running into a lot of T2PD as well as... Oh, and here come those gunships actually, but they're going to go after Ninrai instead of Nasimka. One could argue.
Ninrai is the higher rated player, so if they do eliminate him, that might be a strong move.
Yeah, down to 4 gunships though, and interceptors have been deployed by both Ninrai as well as Nasimka, and they're going to be able to clean that up relatively quickly. I think it was only 5 gunships, which I think is kind of optimistic going for a snipe on 5 gunships, but you know, you do what you can when you can do it. And on the upper side of the map, Mochulao making moves against NGC as well. Guncom at the head of a T1 army.
Making huge gains there, pushing NGC all the way back, and there's no Tech 2 defenses up. Maybe one Oblivion starting to be built, but that looks really bad. Maybe Soviet Pride can come in and save the day with the freshly upgraded Guncom.
Yep, does have that Zep amp upgraded. There is 1 Eruptor point defense that he has to work with. Actually 2, my apologies. And there is actually a strap bomb out from Soviet Pride as well.
So Soviet Pride went for a quick Tech 3 and got the bomber out. There's a handful of ASS, but he has a couple himself to defend. That might make a big difference.
As the ASF's able to clean up, well, there is 1 still alive there for Vex. Strap bomb should be able to get another run. He'll get another 2 actually. ASF is down. Well, nope, maybe another 1.
Oof. That stealth bomber just a couple hundred health. But Motulai half health as well. This is a risky situation. That bomber just keeps coming.
There's not a whole lot that he can do though. Like, he can't really run. I mean, I think maybe just go suicide.
Yeah, you do a tango, you do the dance. You hope you dodge that bomb.
It is the ambassador. The ambassador is dodgeable, if I'm remembering correctly, right? Well,
Yeah, I thought it was the Cybern one that couldn't be dodged, but I don't know. He didn't do the strategic bomb tango very well, I think. At 1,000 health left, the next pass is going to take him out.
he doesn't dodge. Tries to dodge. I think he dodges into it. Yep.
Unfortunately, there he goes.
What is that strap bomb tango? What is that? Step right, step left, slide, and you wear the little dress with the big slit up the side. Is that?
Yep.
Is that the strap bomb tango?
Stretch your leg. Yeah. Yeah, oh, that is painful for the South team. They lose their first, sorry, for the North team. But the South team pretty much lost that whole base to that push, so they are commander up, but we'll see. The first one to take all these maxes back and turn the economy to 11 will probably profit from this.
Yeah, there's a Cards Against Humanity joke in there somewhere with hang your teammate out to dry, take all of their eco, profit. I think there's a Cards Against Humanity. Have you played that game?
Certainly, yeah. It's a classic.
I never get my humor. I never can read other people's humor correctly. Mine's like real sarcastic and dry, and then I can never read like all of my friends' sense of humor very well, so I always end up losing, which is always very depressing.
Yeah, that is how it goes, man. You cannot beat that. So I think the strategic situation is very much in the South team has the advantage here because they had two players choosing to go air, even though the gray player here, Napspan, he hasn't really been a huge factor with those attempts on the gunship snipe, etc. On the other side, Soviet Pride, though, has used that stealth bomber, now has Tech 3 gunships shooting maxes, has air superiority, and the VX by himself can just not contest that. So that's pushing the North team in a defensive position against air. They'll have to spend mass building SAM sites. Maybe another player needs to go and rush Tech 3 air as well. Maybe lots of mobile AA, but if they don't, these gunships are just gonna ruin their day.
It looked like these gunships were like hovering Star Wars speeder style, just like barely over the ground from my particular camera angle, I guess.
Yeah, I think broadswords don't fly that high actually, and I have seen people navigate them under shields to shoot them too. But they look particularly low today. That is for sure.
You can definitely do that. I've spent probably 2 hours of my life or 3 hours of my life watching 10 broadswords attack a shielded base over the weekend. So yes, they do definitely get under shields.
Yeah, I've seen a strat bomber that got like forcibly landed within my shield, and then it got up and shot a bomb at me again. I wonder if that's like exploit level micro, but it was disgusting.
That is, yeah, that's nuts. It'd be kind of a cool thing to add to this game if you could like control, although I don't know if I want to make the game more complicated because I barely keep up as it is, but it'd be kind of cool if you could control altitude. Like,
wow.
You I don't know, at higher altitudes, I'm not very familiar with aerodynamics and everything, but I believe at higher altitudes you can fly faster, but your maneuverability is reduced, and then it's kind of the opposite at lower altitudes. There's got to be a pilot in my viewer in the comments. It's going to be like, it's actually the opposite.
There are definitely a bunch of glitches in the game with attitude, right? Like bombers that come over a high ledge and drop a bomb onto a lower terrain will overshoot. Gunships that are firing from a lower terrain onto higher terrain often just hit the cliff, just like a direct fire unit would do. Stuff like that. But
well, and then we're forgetting the hover bomb, which is of course the
hover bomb,
the most physics breaking thing of all time.
Amazing, right? It's worth practicing, kids. Yeah, those two gunships have both made about 4,000 mass killed, so they have paid for themselves for sure.
As
And
they,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they pretty much swept through a lot of Nasimka's southern mexes, took a lot of those out. Well, some of them might have been Ninrise as well.
Yeah, still the south team is behind on mass generated, it seems, about 10% behind. It's not a big gap. It looks like it won't impact the game that much. What I'm surprised is that even though Ninrai went for the Tech 3 land, he hasn't really made a big impact in the game. He put up a fire base there, but yeah, I think snipers would be quite powerful, pushing that front back, or yeah, the Tech 3 tanks or quick experimental. But yeah, what do you think he's planning?
I was trying to figure it out because he's stalling a ton of mass, and I don't know where it's all going because it's not all going into this T3 power generator. A lot of this is paused. It's not going into that mass storage. I'm genuinely confused. Oh, it's probably going... No, that's not it either. No idea. Oh, it's probably going into these AA. Yeah, so he's sinking a ton of mass into SAMs, just like you were saying earlier, in order to have that defensive posture.
Maybe he is afraid to get bombed, and those gunships did fly over and didn't get punished for it at all.
I mean, I think we're all afraid to get bombed.
Getting bombed is the worst, especially when you're doing really well. You know, you got your gun com, you got your Tech 1, Tech 2 land army, you're just crushing the enemy base, and then there come the bombers or the air snipe.
Oh yeah, it's
so
the worst.
Disappointing.
Yeah, makes you want to pick up your computer and get ready to throw it out the window and then gently set it back down again, because that would be a stupid waste of money.
Right. So there's still a lot of Tech 1 land coming out on the right side, I feel. It's mostly artillery, but there's still Aurora coming out of those factories. That's not the best choice for NGC. You should be all in Tech 3 by now, 21 minutes into the game.
So do you think that there are like specific timestamps that you should go for as far as like, because kind of the adage I've heard is like Tech 2 under 10 minutes, like in a team game, Tech 2 under 10 minutes, and then Tech 3 under 20.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a real like exact number, etc. you can give to, but there's definitely some kind of benchmarks that you can think about. Like, depends a little bit on the map, depends a little bit on the exact situation, but I think the Tech 2 under 10, Tech 3 under 20 is a pretty good aim. Like on Cetans, it's like what, like minute 11, you can expect like a Tech 3 bomber or something, average game. Keep that in mind, and you won't be surprised.
I hate playing Cetans for that exact reason.
Yeah, and I think that messing by pushing some of those timetables forward, by like rushing gun early in a 2v2 or even in Tech 1 ladder, you can really surprise people and make a really strong impact on the game. If you like pour everything in a very early Monkey Lord, and you can surprise people with that, it can take people, can make lots of damage. Or what was it? There was a cast maybe a few months ago where someone went for a pretty aggressive laser commander and did lots of damage with that. Like, really cool. But yeah, it's tough. You make sacrifices to push things hard, and it can backfire for sure.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of some of those backfires. There was one ladder game I played where I threw everything into a monkey, and I think I had the monkey out in under 30 minutes, and walked into, was, big dicking my way across the map, and walked into my opponent's base, and he had just finished laser on his commander, and then spammed a bunch of Cerberus and killed my monkey lord.
Wow. Yeah, and then you just donated 12,000 mass.
Yep, it was great. It's a great feeling. All right, first experimental's starting to come out now as Nasimka wraps up one of his. I'm trying to figure out where it is. Okay, so that's going to be a Monkey Lord, like you were just talking about, making his way.
Oh, that's the cheapest one.
It is the cheapest one. Should not be underestimated, though. quite powerful.
Yeah, I think the best value of Monkey Lord is like it's super high DPS. Once it's on top of a commander, it has no chance to survive. It's fast, it's stealthed, and it's cheap, so it appears pretty early in the game. Don't let it happen to you. Keep scouting, and you won't be surprised by it.
I feel like the last 5 minutes have just been one big public service announcement from us. Like, hey kids, don't say no to cigarettes. By the way, watch out for a strap bomber at 10 minutes on
Scouting is your own responsibility. Don't trust anyone else to do it for you. That's right.
I do think that stealth is a super underutilized mechanic, though, for the Cybran. Like, I almost never see disruptors or is it disruptors? What is it? Deceivers. Sorry.
Deceivers.
Yeah, in the Cybran, in T2 Cybran armies. I feel like they can be really good.
I try whenever I'm Simon. I try to mix them in every 10 units or so, and they are indeed powerful. But of course, stealth is only useful as long as your opponent doesn't have vision. So yeah, a single spy plane can ruin your day in that regards.
But going back to kind of what's going on in the game now, NGC made a play for northern side of the map. Still working, though, with a lot of T1 units. Those are getting mopped up by some Ilshivas that are coming out from Nevis, which I'm convinced I'm mispronouncing, but we're going to roll with it. In the middle, we have kind of a wheeling action here with Nasimka pushing with his Monkey Lord, while Sui is making what I believe will be a pretty unsuccessful... Well, actually, I don't know. There's not very much support here for Ninrai. Might get some damage done. But we'll stay
It's a nice
zoomed
mixed
here.
army. It has a couple of shields and a couple of Percivals. It's quite a high HP, high damage army. What's that? 4, 5 Tech 2 PD up now to defend.
Yeah, it's going to be
But
it for
at the
Ninrai.
same time, that Monkey Lord is going the other direction, so that's not gonna help. Oof, but those Percivals hit hard.
Yeah, Ninrai ends up going down.
Oh,
Monkey
wow.
Lord still pushing in, though. Gunships deployed from Napspan. So he's got a Tech 3 army of his own kind of in tow with a bunch of mobile flak, which is really important to cover your experimentals with that AA.
Exactly. Every time a Monkey Lord just goes out on the map all by itself because some, 1000 rated player builds it and just sets it off to the other side and it gets killed by a handful of bombers and gunships. It's another fairy that dies, right?
We want to minimize fairy deaths.
Exactly.
Guile would be very proud of you for your
I'd be.
campaign to minimize fairy deaths.
So yeah, send a couple of flak and some mobile AA, Tech 3 mobile AA with it, and it will do a better job.
Oh, that's going to be another
you
conversation
go.
going down. Sky God gets caught. I'm doing a terrible job of tracking commanders right now.
And now that Monkey Lord's sitting right on top of that unfinished bomber, gets killed, taken out, and the bomber may survive. Will it? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that Vex was a little late on the ASF response there. He comes flying in to get his Air Force annihilated there. Unfortunately, I think he could have potentially helped that monkey do a little bit more damage, but either way, hard to be upset about that monkey's damage, especially whenever you look at how much damage the bricks are also doing after the fact. Like, Soviet's air grid is getting torn to shreds right now.
Certainly, those bricks. It's easy to underestimate how much damage some Tech 2 or Tech 3 support with an experimental can do, because these bricks, they're just shooting all the way while the Monkey Lord is taking all the heat, and so they killed 6,000-7,000 mass worth of damage themselves, which is amazing.
Yeah, just that one brick had 7k mass killed, and I think there were 7 or 8 of them in that total army. So Soviet's not going to be super happy about that one. He's got a lot of base building to do. He needs to have some me time and focus on himself, rebuild his life. He's hit rock bottom, but it's never the end.
Yeah, and now so he lost his air grid, so that means maybe that the Vex can catch up. And I mean, since Napspan hasn't really been a huge factor so far, there's a chance here for the North team to get back into the air.
I think Napspan has been focusing more on gunships, and Soviet Pride has been doing ASFs. I've seen the odd broadsword come out from him every now and then, but a lot more gunship focus, I think, coming out from the gray player.
Yep. So there's a purple versus gray fight in the upper right there, and there's a bunch of snipers, but not too many, and then there's a bunch of harbingers on the other side. They were skirmishing a little bit with the Autumns, outranging them slightly and doing damage, but I'm afraid that those snipers with those shields, they're just slowly going to push and gain terrain. But the red army might change that. It's a megalith on the left now.
Is that?
That's gonna hit hard.
That's sexy. I like a good megalith. Megalith dealing with some of the Percivals. Nasimka, though, really only with the megalith. Doesn't really have any bricks. He has one brick coming forward, so rushing to get some Cerberus turrets up currently. That combined, though, with, I think, the T2 static.
Oh no,
he's having...
The Mega is walking in the wrong direction, so it can only fire forwards. You can micro it backwards by like giving it move commands just slightly behind it. You can even queue them up normally, and that's a really good way for Mega to gain some distance and keep shooting. But it's walked forward within range of a couple of Ravagers, but it's prioritizing that. Not taking too much damage, still has 3/4 of health left there.
And of course, just it walking does damage as well. I think that's what the massive attribute does. Is that right?
Step on things and they take damage, but it's mostly like if you walk through bases. I mean, it's not doing too much to a small army, I think.
No, I gotcha. They're little. They can get out of the way. They're like mice.
Exactly.
Getting out of the way of a giant crab.
This giant crab has 2 giant guns on it.
That is true.
They're battleship guns, I believe, similar to naval vessel guns, and they fire pretty quickly.
Yep, much quicker and much more accurate. A lot shorter fire cycle as well. Sui, though, Firebase is going to be, I don't think, very long for this world with this megalith as well as the bricks. There is support as well coming in from the north from Nevis. Oh, he actually changed his mind and figured that Nasimka is going to be fine without him.
Curse of the caster.
Curse of the caster, let me tell you. As soon as I say that a player's going to do one thing, they do the exact opposite. Although I think that's more just human nature. Like, I don't know if you feel this way, but I got this like water flosser the other day, and it said in the manual, because I'd never used one before, it said in the manual, do not use on the underside of your tongue. And for the next like 30 minutes, I could not think, like, I was like, why do they not want me to use it on the underside of my tongue? How bad could it possibly be? I should just go put it under my tongue and see how bad it is. So it's just
how bad
nature.
Was it?
I didn't end up doing it. My wife was like, you're a fucking idiot. Don't you think about doing that.
Alright, looks like Soviet is very quick to rebuild. He has plenty of build power. He has a lot of mass income now.
Also has a fat boy.
Yeah, he's the second highest player with mass, the highest being Vex in the back there.
Sui gonna go down to experimentals. Another Monkey Lord, as well as that Megalith from Nasimka. That is gonna be Sui's ejection from the game.
And that's a shame, because he was doing quite well. He had the fire base, which maybe wasn't too long for this world, but you know, if he had survived there, he could have got a little bit of pressure on that left side, take out those experimentals and survive. Now he's really leaving it all up to his 3 remaining teammates.
Well, Dr. Conorach, if you want to give a diagnosis for why Sui died, I think it was an acute case of commander too far forward itis.
Yeah, exactly. That 30 minutes in, your commander should probably be somewhere in the back under a bunch of shield with some SAMs and PD around it, and not in the front line building Ravagers. You're no sure. This is not the way to survive.
This is not the way.
It's definitely not the way. There's a nuke being built by VEX, about 50% complete, so I can see. And let's see where the mass is on the map at the moment. I think that It is significantly more mass on the south half, and a lot of that is in range of the blue player. Nasimka can then collect a ton of that, and that will only get turned into more Monkey Lords and more Megaliths, I think. As we can see, another Megalith just being started in Nasimka's base.
Yeah, I don't think though that there is an insignificant amount outside of Soviet Pride's base. I just did a quick look, and there's 60k on his doorstep as well. So
Certainly. Yeah, that earlier Monkey Lord has just been vacuumed up. And now it's turned into a second Fat Boy, it seems.
as there's an air engagement out over Soviet Pride's Fat Boy, and it's going to be Vex actually doing a pretty good job wiping out Soviet Pride's air forces there. Broadswords in to harass the Fat Boy, and I don't see Sam's starting to get started by Soviet Pride, but not seeing any Sams in his base. So this Fat Boy going to get tickled down by the broadswords, which
It's gonna hurt. But
Yeah.
on the top side, there's even more going on. And Itota and the Monkey Lord are chasing after NGC, who's running for his life. Shield taking a lot of the damage as the Itota goes down just before he gets blown up. 7,000 health left. Only a lone Autumn still in range.
still got the Monkey Lord though, and Napspan just moved his broadswords away. I think NGC might be going for the sacrifice here, or he's going for an overcharge. Nope, going for the sacrifice.
No. Why would he die there? Those broadswords could have saved him, man.
And there's water right there. Go get yourself a little drink. Rehydrate.
Yeah. Not looking too great for the South team. Let's see if Soviet can turn it around. See if that 2200 rating actually means something today.
It's got to be worth something, right? It's got to be worth. If you're, the way I hear it is, if you're rated over 1,000, you automatically get an extra 20 mass per tick. And then if you get over 1,500, it increases to 40. And then if you break 2,000, you get an extra 100 mass per tick. Just
I thought it was like when
outright.
you get over 2000, like you get like automatic micro from your units. You don't have to pay attention
Automatic
anymore. And
micro.
your units will dodge shots whenever you're not paying attention.
That's it. Somebody who's 2,000 confirm down in the comments below what kind of perks we can expect to receive whenever I eventually try to get there. But Soviet Pride actually ends up control Kang here, and I can't really say that I blame him.
Yeah, that monkey took a sip of water and is coming back in the back line.
Coming into the
would
back
have made
line.
really bad. The Mega on the other side being sandwiched there. Yeah, it was a good effort, but unfortunately, was the end. Yeah, cool. Do you think there was anything, any specific pivot during this game that you would have thought like, wow, that could have been better, or that was a real mistake that caused the game to be lost?
I think that I would say MVP goes to that Monkey Lord push, the very first one with the bricks and the flak in tow. I think that's whenever things really started to unravel for Team 2, even after a pretty good start, eliminating Mochulal relatively early on. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I think the fight for that top right position, that was basically where Motulai died, but NGC got pushed back a lot. Made a pretty big impact. It probably cost a lot of the resources from the South team to shift that direction. To have to make these emergency defenses and stuff. But I agree that the real push was that Monkey Lord with the Tech 3 army. By itself, it would have never achieved so much, but a couple of bricks with it and the AA, yeah, it might have even done slightly better with a bit better micro, and that really took out Soviet for a very long time. And I think that made the biggest impact, because he had the air and he could have leveraged that much more, but now he couldn't. So well done by the North team.
Yeah, well done by the North team indeed. Well, Conorach, as we wrap up here, is there anything that you'd like to say to close us out?
I hope to cast again with you soon, and good luck with everybody who's playing in Duelist tournaments. I hope we get to play our next match soon, and to the victor the spoils.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. And it's been a pleasure having you join, and we'll definitely look to do more of these in the future. But for everybody else out there, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.